Greetings, pod fans, and welcome back to another spooky storytelling time. Didn't make a video last week. I was going to try something new, but I'm still working on it. I don't know what to do. So I'm going to read a spooky story. This one is called Ground Control to Major Tom. At the end of the video, I will give you all a choice just to see what we can figure out, because I don't really know what to do. But yes, going to read this, published on July 24th, 2009. Estimated reading time, 3 minutes. So, let's give it a shot. Did you take your protein pills? Good. Now put your helmet on. Ground Control commanded, and Major Tom obeyed. Ground Control droned on as Tom sat in his seat in his cramped capsule and waited. Commencing countdown. Engines are active. Tom counted down with the man on the microphone as he felt a rush of anxiety flow through his veins. 10, 9, 8. Tom checked the ignition and heard one final phrase from Ground Control. May God's love be with you. Lift off! That's all Tom remembered. He woke up to a deep black outside of his spaceship windows and an eruption of cheers from his headset. Good work, Tom. You've really made the grade. Just exit your capsule and pilot the ship. Tom obeyed and exited his capsule and floated in a most peculiar way to the pilot seat. Floating through space 100,000 miles from Earth was the spaceship of Major Tom. It had been 3 months since the launch. The only company Tom had was the iteration of pre-launch instructions in his head, over and over. He looked out his window to observe the moon and stare out to the lonesome, lifeless abyss that was deep space. The stars looked very different, Tom thought, more vivid, bigger even. Tom's view was distracted by a sudden movement. Something had swiftly darted behind the moon. Something quite massive had hidden itself behind the moon. Perhaps an asteroid, Tom thought, but they don't move that quick. Out from behind the moon jetted what looked like a piece of space itself. It was something very large, black as the night sky and dotted in large glowing lights. And it was coming right for Tom's ship. Thinking quickly, he reversed the thrusters on his ship. The massive space thing had narrowly missed the ship, but had enough momentum to spin the ship rapidly. Tom was thrown into the ship's walls. The familiar voice of Ground Control buzzed in Tom's ear. Tom, the ship has received damage all over the hull. What happened? Tom could only reply, Tell my wife I love her very much. A different voice from Ground Control echoed, She knows. The space thing was coming back for a head-on collision with Tom's ship. All Tom could do was get into his spacesuit and wait. As the space thing got closer and closer, Tom could see how large it really was. It was snake-like, and had to be at least a mile long and hundreds of feet wide. As it came within miles of Tom's ship, it slowed. Eventually, it had stopped and just sat there, staring, it seems. Then, it began to coil itself around Tom's ship. Metal groaned from the pressure and glass cracked. Tom looked outside the window at the beast. It was just like space itself was tangling itself up around him. Machinery began to beep and lights started to die. Tom frantically checked everything he could. The energy was slowly being sucked away. It didn't take long, perhaps a few minutes, for the ship to be rendered completely powerless. Then, nothing. No more metal groaning, and no more glass cracking. Tom was stuck, floating around in a powerless ship, and he could do nothing about it. Ground Control had buzzed in his ear one last time. Major Tom, your circuit is dead. Something is wrong. Tom didn't reply. Can you hear me, Major Tom? Tom still didn't reply. Tom, can you hear me? Major Tom! Tom turned off his only contact to human life. He turned off his life support systems and stared out his window. He saw a floating bit of space going towards a blue planet. With his last breath, Tom sang quietly, Here I am, floating in a tin can, far above the moon. Planet Earth is blue, and there's nothing I can do. Why am I getting goosebumps from that? They're literally just throwing in random quotes from from Bowie. Bowie, what do people say? Yeah, that was cool. I think it kind of gave me goosebumps and gave me a little bit of a spook just because the idea of like space and dying in space and like completely alone does spook me. But I kept being taken out of the moment because they just threw in a load of quotes from Space Oddity. Like, just, you know, like the very end. Now I'm just floating in a tin can far above the moon. Planet Earth is blue. There's nothing I can do. Tell my wife I love her very much. She knows. Ground Control to Major Tom. Like, all of this. Your circuit's dead. There's something wrong. Can you hear me, Major Tom? Can you hear me, Major Tom? That, like, I don't know. It was it was interesting and it was very short. Like it just kind of appeared and did the whole thing with us. But yeah, I don't know how to feel about that. It just caught me off guard. Okay, interesting. There'll be a link to that in the info box. And as per usual, I will now mention the names of 3 that we can read next week, if you'd like. Okay, so the 3 that we have to read for next week, we've got Nails, estimated reading time 5 minutes. The Visions, estimated reading time 2 minutes. And Greed, estimated reading time 3 minutes. So let me know what you think we should read next time. If no one responds, I'll just pick one, because I can do that. Yeah. But I hope that you have a good day. Sorry that there was none last week. Still figuring things out, and you know, the fact that I don't know, my schedule is kind of all over the place. I don't really know what I'm doing with YouTube, but we're giving it a shot, and I'm still streaming every now and then. So if you're curious as to when I'm going to go live, you can go to my twitch.tv/manpod and follow, or you can just follow me on Twitter and you'll see that. It's fun. It is fun. I've been really enjoying it. I'm playing 2 games at the moment. There's Pyre, which is very story driven. There's a lot of me reading. If you like this kind of content, then you know you can watch that and listen to me read. And there is Demon Crawl, which very interesting game. It's a Minesweeper roguelike. So even if you don't know how to play Minesweeper, I have learned that I talk through my thought process when I'm thinking, and it's helping a lot of people. I've got a number of people who are now interested in playing Minesweeper just because they listen to me go, I'm not great, but I know the rules and how to do things. So apparently it's good. So yeah, cool. All right, well, have a good day. Probably another video on Sunday, as is the tradition. But yeah, I'm going to go, and I will talk to you soon. Slán.